Sight words for first and some of our second graders is imperative. At this point in the year, your students should have 75 of the 100 sight words under their belt. If you have a student at home who does not have 75 words, they definitely need to be working on this at home. Some of our intervention students, this would be you guys. For those of you who are on your way to learning your 100, this is a fantastic way, first graders, for you to keep going. And parents, this is a little video that's going to show you how to use a reciprocal teaching strategy that we use in the Learning Lab that is very, very effective. And it doesn't take very long. I know some of your kids, especially if they're struggling with their words, they're not going to want to sit and work on these for a long period of time with you. This is a super effective way to do it. So this strategy is based on the 90-10 ratio of learning, meaning 10% new information at a time. We don't want to overwhelm kids with all new words or new information. Their brains just can't process it that quickly. None of ours can. So basically what we're doing is we're using 90% known information. So in the area of sight words, it would be nine words that they know to the one word or the 10% that they don't know. So long story short, you're going to have a stack of 10 words or 10 sounds if you're working on letters and sounds. The very first card or first word is going to be the word that they don't know, the one that they're working on learning. Then you will introduce, after you do one, you'll do 1, 2. That second card should be a word that they know really well, that they have under their belt and they feel really confident with. Then when you go to the next stack or the next time through the stack, you're doing the first word, the unknown word, followed by the 2 cards or the 2 words that they know. So you're adding 1 word to the stack as you go through it each time, knowing that the most exposure given will be that brand new word. As they learn those sight words at home, you're going to take the one that they know the most, which would be the sight word that they are super comfortable with. That one comes off the pile and a new sight word goes on the top. You can do this several times a day. You can do this once a day, whatever buy-in you'll get with your child. But this is very, very effective. This is going to work not only for sight words, but again, if you're a kindergarten parent or a parent of a first grader who still has a couple of sounds or letters they're working on, this is a really effective strategy for that. So Archer, can you come over and be my student today? I have a built-in model for you guys. This is my son, Archer. Archer, thank you so much for modeling. So I'm going to pretend that this is Archer's stack of sight words. These are the words that he already knows. And let's say he's working on the word where. And all you guys need at home to do this, sorry, I've got a low battery here. Let me change that. I just have index cards that I've used, but you can cut up paper if you have that at home, or if you have sight word decks that you use at home, those would be great as well. Or if your teacher has sent something home with you or you've printed them out, those are great. So what I have here are the 9 words. These are 9 sight words that he would know. His new word, I just wrote here on a card, where. And so using this method, I have where as my first card. So that is the word he's trying to learn. So Archer, I would start with card 1.
Where.
And now I'm going to do 1.
Where.
And number 2.
What.
I put 1 back on the deck. So now I have.
Where. What.
And the third card is now shown.
No.
And then those words following the first word are all the ones that he would know. So I put 1 and 2 back on the deck, and now he reads.
Where. What. No.
And now I go to card number 4. And he would read. Is. So then I put all of those back on the deck. Now I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he would have. Where. What.
No.
No. Is.
My.
And my. So now I've gone all the way to 5. I put all the cards back on the deck. So I have a total of 10 cards. You would go all the way to 10, or again, if your child stops at 7, and they start forgetting this first word, if they're forgetting the first word, don't go beyond 7. If they're at 8 and they start forgetting the first word, we've probably gone too far and they can't retain that word. But usually 10 is the sweet spot. Adjust it as you need. So again, these are for sight words, and I would use this method with sight words. I use it every day with students in the lab, and it's really effective in helping them learn their new words. The other way you can use it, again, if you have a kindergartner that is working on letter recognition, you can do flashcards with an uppercase letter because they need to know all of their uppercase letters. You also can make a stack with lowercase letters for recognition. So again, they would just be saying the name of these, A, and they'd go through the stack and tell you X. They would do the same reciprocal strategy, but with telling you their letter name. Also, a lot of our kindergartners are working on letter sounds. You could make a stack just for sounds. Again, the first sound would be the one that they're working on. The rest of the sounds would be the ones they've got under their belt. So for example, if I were working on sounds and my child, well, A is usually one that they know pretty well. So let's just make this a little more realistic. So if I were working on sounds and my kindergarten student, Archer, thank you for being my kindergarten student. If they were working on F, this would be the one that they need to learn. So they would say, and you might have to tell them, you might have to say, so he would give us the sound, 1 would go down, and now I would have 1, 2. So I have so he's done 1 and 2. I put 1 back, now he says so then I put 1 and 2 back, and so on and so forth. It goes all the way down the stack. So if you're a kindergarten parent and your child is working on letters, you could do a stack for letter name with 10 cards in it, a stack for letter name lowercase, and then you could have your sound stack. So you would have 3 stacks of 10, if that makes sense. Whatever you're working on, just make the stacks. And then again, they could just go through it once really quick in the morning. It takes about a minute, maybe 2 minutes to go through, but it's very, very effective. And it's a quick way where every time they say, I'm bored, or can I have this, say, yeah, after we do our stack. For letter sounds, just a quick reminder, we do use the lowercase letter for sounds. So I would not recommend using uppercase letters and asking the child to tell you the sound that this letter makes. We want them to know the lowercase. So the lowercase stack is the one for your sounds. Also, the other way that you can use this method is with your math facts. If you have a 3rd, 4th, or 5th grader that is working on memorizing their math facts, whatever they're working on, make yourself a stack. If they're working on their 12s, put all of the math facts on these cards and give them, let's say they're working on 12s, that first card would be 12, and then the ones behind it would be math facts that they know, like their 2s or their 1s, whatever would be easy for them. You can use, for math facts, if you wanted the first 2 cards to be math that they don't know, that would be all right. But typically we just want them to learn 1 card at a time, and then they start mastering that. Then that whole deck would eventually become their 12s as those ones that they know come off the back, if that makes sense. I hope you guys will try this strategy at home. Again, for those of you with intervention students that come to us in the Learning Lab, if you send me an email at edavis@grantschoolcougars.com, I have all of the data for all the 1st graders, and that would be any parent of a child in 1st grade. If you are still working on words at home, we have assessed all of the students as of the end of the 2nd trimester, so I can give you a personal list of the words that your child needs to be working on at home. And if you are a 2nd grade parent and you have a student that is still working on some sight words, I can also give you that. But for the most part, these are our 1st graders working on sight words. And again, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, if you want to use this strategy for math, it's an awesome strategy. Kindergarten parents, keep learning those sounds. And if you guys have any questions, please email me. I'm happy to get in touch with you. Archer, thank you for being my helper today, and we'll talk to you guys soon.